Oregon Friendly Driver Program is a class that teaches drivers of all skill levels how to drive safely around people who walk and ride bikes. We're all people that are trying to get home no matter what mode we're using, and we all can be safer and friendlier while out on our roadways. The Oregon Friendly Driver class is about a 75-minute class where we come to you and give a presentation that's interactive with your participants, going through the laws, infrastructure, common mistakes, and how to avoid them to help your attendees be safer and friendlier drivers. We spend time talking about why our infrastructure is the way that it is, which can help explain the different behaviors that you see. We bring in people with very different perspectives on walking, biking, driving, getting them to connect to each other on how driving safely, walking safely, biking safely, all of these things connect to build a stronger, safer community is just so awesome. Nobody should be dying or getting seriously injured on our roadways. This education piece of it is incredibly important in helping literally save lives. This is the only class that I know of that teaches this kind of material that's completely free. I like to think that the people who are taking this class are also becoming ambassadors, that they are telling their friends when they're in their car, talking to their kids about how to open a door safely, how to look before you do that to make sure that you're not going to accidentally, swing a door open into someone. There's a lot of little pieces that people can take home and use immediately. I've really found that going through this material, people feel a lot more compassionate. We all can do better to be safe on our roadways.